Welcome back to Student Hub Live. Well, this is our Refreshers Orientation event for our February cohort. We've got lots of new students here and some current and continuing students. And tonight's programme, over the next 3 hours, we've got a fab range of guests lined up for you. Our first session is about the Open University Students Association. But let's first take a quick trip to the hot desk and see HJ and Michelle. Welcome, Michelle.
Hi, Karen.
How are you?
I am, like many people, coldy. I am working on a TMA and I'm finding it all a little bit stressful right now, Karen. So I'm looking forward to some top tips and tricks this evening.
So why have you come along tonight then, Michelle, if you've got so much on your plate?
Can I say that I'm a bit biased and I love Student Hub Live?
Yeah, that's fine. That's a very good reason. As long as you're not procrastinating.
No. We always get so many good top tips and tricks here. So it's very helpful. It's helpful to be here. It's helpful to hear what people are saying. And it's just great to share the experience.
Brilliant. And HJ, have we got some new people joining us this evening?
Yeah, we've got lots of people coming in. So we've got Shirley and Mandy and Tala's back, and Victoria's been filling in about Order of Animals and about anteaters, and I'm trying to keep up with it, but it is really interesting. And
is Victoria inspired by the quiz?
She's very inspired. Apparently, anteaters and the animal we were talking about,
Argox,
that's it, aren't in the same animal order, which is quite interesting actually, because they seem so similar. So we're quite interested in that, and we're trying to find out more. In the meantime, we do love study tips, which is great. So we've been putting them on our board behind us. If you've got any more to send in, we'd love to hear from them. And put them up there. And if you've got anything to send in to us, like a picture of your study buddy or the view from where you are, we'd love to see it. We've already got loads of great ones on the board behind me. Just send them in to studenthub@open.ac.uk.
And cakes we like also.
Yes.
And pictures of your dinner.
Definitely. I already had a whole cake to myself earlier, but that was just lunchtime cake. I haven't had evening cake yet, so I'm sure we can manage it.
Because I haven't had any cake today.
That's a good point. You need extra cake. Make-up cake.
Yes.
It would be so nice if we had some cake later, wouldn't it?
Well, we just might have some cake later, I'm hoping.
Well, you never know, we might do. So if those of you are just joining our wonderful world of Student Hub Live, this is an online interactive event. It's a place for you to talk to other students in the chat about whatever you'd like to. And if you've missed things, you can watch them on Catch Up. They're all available on our YouTube channel. And in addition to events like this, which are our broadcast events from our studio in Milton Keynes, we also host a range of study skills workshops. We've got some coming up and you can find out about those. They're an hour in length, they're very structured, and they're in Adobe Connect, which is the OU's online tutorial platform. So you can book a space on those because places are limited. And we've got some great ones lined up on effective online communication skills and also on essay planning and essay writing, and there's lots more lined up. You can also subscribe to our mailing list and then we'll notify you about events. We have probably about one event a month at least, so we'll let you know what's on, and you can then book a ticket for yourself so you can attend the things that you're going to find most useful. So tonight, our first session is about a welcome to your Students' Association. Then we've got some colleagues from the law school talking about developing academic skills, discussion and analysis. I think this will be great. Then we've got the graduate school, Bake Your Research. That sounds very interesting and right up my street. Delegating your chores, managing your study like a manager. So some brilliant tips from the Open University Business School. Then we've got a session on assessment, calmly doing it well. Study like an athlete, some top tips there from our sports department about ways in which you can make your study very effective. And then finally, we end with Peter Redmond talking about grow your confidence and build your skills. So there's lots and lots of things here for you to do. Drop in and out as you choose. But first, let me welcome Anca, Seaton and Billy Docherty from the Open University Students Association. So thank you both for coming along here tonight. We've got some widgets for you to fill in at home as well. How do you feel about starting your new module? Are you a member of any of the societies, meetups, representative groups, or not a member? Those are multi-choice questions. And which level are you studying? So you can write your level in there as well. With the word clouds, you need to put 3 things in there, otherwise your results won't submit. Hope I've covered everything. HJ will fill you in the chat with everything else as we're going through. But what is the Students' Association, Billy, and what difference can it make for OU students?
Student Association is the official representation body for students across Open University. We are made up of an elected student exec committee So there's about 20 of us elected every 2 years, and elections are actually coming up in the next few months. Ooh. So students will be able to stand if they want to be elected onto the student exec. But we for the student association is different for different students. For some students, we are the academic representation, so we sit on various committees and make sure student voice is embedded deep within the Open University. For some students, we're a support network, so we have various supports from peer support to OUSA, which is the Open University Students Educational Trust, for students that maybe suffering some financial difficulties, maybe with their fees or equipment. For some students, we are the community. So we have The Hoot, which is our magazine. We have opportunities for students to get involved, either as volunteers, maybe volunteering at graduation ceremonies. So for different students, we do different things.
So let's just talk about all students then, as opposed to, we'll come on to the elected aspect and the ways in which students can get involved. The OU Students Association is different from other organisations that have opted on members. Everyone is a member of the Students Association, which is fantastic.
Yes, it is. So every OU student is a member of the OU Students Association, and we are the voice and the community for all students.
Brilliant. So because students are a member, they get access to a lot of the support networks, and you've mentioned a few various things, and we've asked students about whether or not they've been to things like a meetup. You've got a great website where students can find out more. So tell us what you're doing then for freshers.
For freshers, we are now in the middle of freshers. We had a week packed with chats on Facebook and Adobe Connect, and they were open to all students, and they covered quite a lot of different aspects of their study life, or tips and tricks, how to study better and that kind of thing.
Brilliant. And are there things people can watch if they're watching now, if they might have missed some of those? Is there anything coming up later this week?
Yes, we have quite a lot of other chats coming up. We have a STEM chat on Wednesday.
Tomorrow's STEM chat, I think. Anyway.
Yes.
Yeah.
A DSG chats on Facebook.
Disabled students.
Yes.
Group, yeah.
And we also have a chat for the students who are parents, because quite a lot of our students are parents, and it would be good for them to have a chat and find out how to manage studying when they have small children.
Perfect. And you've got a Facebook page, but we're posting all of the links in the chat with the times and dates. So if you're watching right now, HJ is popping those in the chat, so you can just click on those and find out all the details of those future events that are coming up. So that's great then. There's lots happening for people, lots of chats and discussions and ways of facilitating community. What sorts of things might students need support for then? You're sort of mentioning various chats. You mentioned things like the DSG, the Disabled Students Group. Yeah. What sorts of reasons do students come to an association to get support from other students?
Well, some of them come because they are going through a difficult patch, so they're looking for other students who are going through the same thing, just to share tips how to cope. We have other students who are looking for a study buddy, because when you study in a group, you study better.
We also have students who are applying for Disabled Students Allowance, and they're not sure what they can apply for, or they need that little bit of support. So they can come to the Disabled Students Group and pick up advice from other students, what they've applied for, and to take away the fear of the process, because people think it's a really scary process going through the DSA, but I've been through it myself a few times. So it's just it's a reassurance for students that things aren't quite as bad as what they think at times.
So there's lots of support for students at the OU, and we've been talking about some of those various things today, the student support team, their tutor, for example. There are a range of ways that students get support, but what's different about talking to other students or people who've been through that process, like, for example, with yourself, Billy?
It's getting that understanding that it's okay, and other people have been through it. At the Student Association, we offer peer support. So students who are struggling, or maybe with motivation, or just not sure, can apply for a peer support worker. and that peer support worker is there to sort of, they're not there to guide them, but they're there to support them through those difficult times. I know myself, when I had my really bad anxiety and I really struggled with motivation, just having somebody there saying you can do it and having that voice coming back to you, whereas sometimes it's a bit scary to phone student support or to speak to your tutor, so sometimes talking to other students is a bit easier.
Yeah. Let's see what HJ and Michelle are talking about. How's everyone at home?
Well, I've been accused of leading students astray already.
Have you, Michelle? And in what way?
Well, I have linked them to the Students' Association's freebies and games page on the Freshers site.
Yeah. Well, that's a very good thing, because it's really good to have it. Have you been talking about all the discounts you can get with a totem card?
No, that's right. There are so many discounts. I think that is one of the advantages of being a student, because things do get quite tight. So do have a look at the totem card and other available cards as well, because sometimes you do need a break from studying. You know, you might work really, really hard and then you want to take a break, but you don't have a lot of money, so you might get a discount on a movie or a discount on a food place or something like that. So it's definitely worth doing.
It's like the co-op as well for your wine and food
Yes,
and things like that.
Absolutely.
And your cake and chocolate.
And your cake.
Oh yeah, and cheese. Ava has said that she prefers cheese to cake.
Stationery,
Raymond's for stationery.
Amazon, Apple, quite a lot of discounts everywhere.
One of the best things, I think, though, although I'm a bit of a I love free computer programs, is Office 365, which I think is such, because having had to pay for that for so long, it's really expensive, and students get the whole suite now of Office 365 for free, and also I think 6 months Amazon Prime membership.
Yes.
And then you get a discounted Amazon Prime after that, and so it's very reasonable as well. Although that is leading students astray, falling down a trottle leg on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes, I know that.
When there's a Student Hub Live YouTube channel, who needs anything else?
That's so true.
Study area from my living room, because I kept the TV I'd say maybe stop for 5 minutes and watch a little bit of YouTube, but 3 hours later I was still sitting watching it, so I've now had to have a separate study area.
No, exactly. No, it's important. You've got to focus on these things, otherwise you won't get anywhere. So it's good. So, Michelle, you're not leading people astray then?
I'm not trying to,
No.
but I think the Office 365 is really important. And what that means for students is they can access word processing, they can access spreadsheets, they can access different things, PowerPoint presentations. So, and all those things they need to do, their assignments. And there's a lot of help available as well. If they go to the library, they can get some help. The IT help desk, they can get help. So I think something that students really should take advantage of, that Office 365.
Yeah.
You can, if you're doing a research project, you can get what's called a Mendeley account, which is a referencing management software, and you can link that in directly with your Word. So there are lots of things that are available to help students that now don't cost money, that used to cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
Ask your tutor if you're not sure.
Yeah. Absolutely, all your student support team. No, there's heaps on offer, which is fantastic. But we don't want to distract everyone from the session, because you guys have some really important stuff to talk about in terms of your conference that's coming up, and also you'd mentioned the elections earlier. And I'm really interested in ways that students can get involved, because Billy, you talked about the student voice, and I know this is something you're particularly passionate about within the faculty, for example, and on the central committee. But there are a number of ways that people can get involved, and sometimes brand new students will say, hey, that sounds great, it's a really interesting thing. Sometimes people will want to be studying for a while and then think, actually, there's something I want to say, and they'll be more motivated from that perspective. But tell us about why people get involved in the sorts of areas that you two are both involved in with your work.
Well, for me, I'm the faculty rep for FAS. So for my students, I'm concentrating on what's happening within FAS.
Which is the Faculty of
Faculty of
Arts
Arts and Social Sciences, yeah. I'm a psychology student, so I'm based there. And for my volunteers that come in, we can bring them down to campus for faculty assembly, which means they're actually meeting the academics, they're meeting the senior management, and telling them direct what's affecting students. Yeah. We also have central committee reps. We've got about 60 central committee reps who sit within various committees across the university, and their job is to put the student voice forward. So it's not a token. One thing I will say, I've sat in quite a lot of committees where you are the token person, but our students are really active and actually make a big difference in influencing what's happening within the Open University. Yeah. So we have a lot of people come in that way, and as I say, we have our elections coming up. Our elections are, I think it's 20 elected members who make up the Central Executive Committee. So we're the student leadership team of the Student Association. Yeah. And we have various roles there that students can come in and look at and stand for elections. I say any student can put their name forward for election.
So how does it all work then, this election process?
Basically what happens is you have a look at the roles, all the roles will go up for description, so you read through your description and pick the role that you think may be suited to you. Then you have to develop a manifesto and you produce a 2-minute video just explaining your manifesto and what the role is. And then all those basically get opened up and then students will vote. For most of the roles it's right across the university, but for example, if you were standing for the Area Association Rep for Scotland, you could only be in Scotland to vote for that one. And as I say, the elections, once you're elected for 2 years. And it's just a case of leading the Student Association. And we meet up every quarter for our management meetings. And as I say, if you don't want to go through the process of being elected, you can apply to be a Central Committee Rep, which is an appointee post, so students can get involved.
Brilliant. Now, we asked people at home whether they're a member of any of the various societies that you've got. So let's take a look and see whether or not they know about the opportunities available. So at the moment, 91% say that they're not a member. And nobody's a member of any of the societies or clubs. No one's been to any meetups, but these are all new students, so to be completely fair, they probably haven't heard about a lot of these things already. So I'd like to just briefly mention some of the societies. I know the Psychology Society is really, really vibrant. There's also a Law Society and many other orienteering, mountaineering.
There's a Math Society, there's a Physics Society, and we have some other ones that are more fun, shall we say. We have the Tadpoles.
You can't come here and say maths isn't fun, because Sally and Katie will have a go at you.
Well,
I'm joking. Don't worry, it's fine. We like maths.
Maths is fun. I'm doing a maths module at level 3, so I can't say that maths isn't fun. Yes. We have loads of societies, and we also have groups and clubs. Yeah. Clubs are more informal than societies, and most of the time they are just Facebook groups, and the students talk about everything and anything. We have a Disney club, we have OU Fit club, we have everything and anything. OU Make club, because I saw your bunting here.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Sunday
It's nice. Maybe later.
OU Baking club.
Oh, a baking club, that sounds good.
Yeah. So have a look on our website and see the whole list of clubs, and you can join as many as you would like.
Okay.
I think we've got about 60 clubs. I manage OU Fit Club, and we've got about 860 members at the moment. We've had 180 in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Then you've got the OU Writing Club, you've got a Walking Club, you've got Cats and the Slaves Club.
Yes.
So there's various clubs out there for students, and again, as I say, it's a chance to talk to other students in a less formal environment. And
I'm guessing the OU Fit Club is something a bit more distance-based than just seeing who can do Strava segments around campus.
Yes. It's actually what we do is we look at physical health, mental health, well-being. We have things like Star Sunday, when we talk about our achievements for the last week. Yeah. So we share that with the community there. We have Good Food Friday, which isn't always good food, but it's food.
Nourishing for the soul.
Nourishing, yes. So all the different clubs do different things throughout the year, but as I say, they're open to all OU students. Like OU Fit Club is also open to OU students and staff. Yeah. It's a chance for that. When you need that breakaway, I tend to go to some of the clubs and just chat to other students there. So.
Okay, now that sounds fantastic. Now, what's your personal advice for students who may think there's so much here? I mean, we could have students for hours going and signing up for various things, joining various clubs. We've spoken a bit earlier today about how sometimes some of these Facebook groups can feel a bit overwhelming at times, and how it's really important that with studying with a busy life, you need to manage your priorities. And we found that in a piece of research about student carers, people were very diligent at sort of managing their time and focusing on when they needed their support networks and when they didn't. So how have you two sort of managed that with your studies, and what would you recommend students do when they're faced with such choice and support for their studies? How do they choose what's right for them without getting so overwhelmed that it all feels a bit overbearing?
For me, it's at the start of my study process, when I had done an access module to start with, it was actually a case of actually sitting down and thinking to myself, now, what realistically do I have to do? Yeah. The book says you need 15 hours. How am I going to fit that in? Yeah. And then I sort of ring-fenced some time, which was my study time. Yeah. But again, sometimes anxiety takes over, or life takes over, things happen. So I always try to advise, especially students in my faculty, if possible, try and get a little bit ahead. Yeah. So if something does block your learning path, then it's not going to have a huge impact. Yeah.
Have a bit of a buffer.
Yes. Also, never be afraid to talk to someone, whether it be your tutor. I always say go to your tutor first. Tutors are fantastic. They're always there to help. Your student support team. If you do really struggle and you think, maybe I do need a bit of peer support, maybe something what we do at the association. But yeah, it's, I always say students be realistic, and I always say the journey's yours. Yeah. It's not everybody else's. So if somebody's 5 weeks ahead, we all start the same day, and technically we all finish on the same day. So as I say, everybody does their own journey. Some people like to work ahead because of work commitments or family. Some people can't. So it's just, take ownership and make the learning yours.
Brilliant. Well, that's been absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for filling us in on all of these opportunities. And you can find out more about these. We've given you the links to some of the events that the Society are having during Freshers Week, but you can also find out about the other options of support clubs and societies and discounts on the Open University Students Association website, and the link to that is on our Student Hub Live resources page. Michelle, you're sniggering though. What are you talking to everyone about at home?
I am so excited about these clubs. There's the Study Space and Stationery Ideas Club, a Study Addicts Club, a STEM Club for the science and technology and engineering and math students. There's a Reading Nook, a Public Speaking Club. There is a club for students who are parents. Yeah. There's a club, Nordic and Scandinavian Club, a Neurodiversity Club, Mind, Body and Spirit Connections. There's a Mental Health Social Club. I mean, you name it. If you need help, I think you go and have a look at these clubs and you'll find like-minded people who are willing to talk to you and help you. And you know, the Fit Club we talked about, Dyslexia Club, brilliant.
Now, do you have to be a study addict before you join the Study Addict Club, or do you become a study addict after you join that?
I think everybody should join it, because I think you're probably right there. I think it would encourage you to become a study addict. So
it's quite nice having those things that are coming through your Facebook feed. Sometimes you just need a bit of motivational support, and you don't always need to get that involved with things or reply to people. Sometimes just having other people's links and knowing that you can look at your groups and see what's there if you want to have a few quiet moments is really helpful, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And it is very nice when you have only 5 minutes just to look at a couple of pictures of funny cats. Yeah. That can brighten up your day. Yeah. Little things like that can make quite a lot of difference to your mental health and to the way you approach your studying and everything else.
Absolutely. And HJ, you've had some very nice animals sent through to you today, haven't you?
Yes, we've had loads of study buddies. Cat seems to be the popular option today, which I can't blame anyone for that. They do help us and support us with our study, and to be fair, they're great listeners.
There are quite a lot of dogs there, to be fair.
There are a few dogs as well. I'm not sure they're that good at listening. Apparently some of these dogs can't sit still for too long while we're studying and need lots of attention.
But the cats are great co-authors.
That's it, yes. They know exactly what they're doing, you know.
Yeah, looking for food. So how can people send you their pictures of cats, HJ?
So if you want to send in your pictures of cats, study pets, or the view from where you want, or maybe even your very organised desk, which mine is not at the moment, you can send it into studenthub@open.ac.uk, and we'd love to show them. I'll put a link in the chat for that as well. But we also saw there is an Animal Admirers Club, so we're signing up straight away, aren't we?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Admirers, perfect. All right, well, thank you very much, Anca and Billy. That's been really fascinating. We're going to have a short video break now. We're going to show you around the student support team, which is just over the road, but there are other offices in the UK. So we're going to show you what they do and how they can support you in your studies. And then we're going to talk about developing academic skills, discussion and analysis, with 2 colleagues from the law school. We're going to take a really, really interesting case about firearms. I'm really looking forward to it, so stay tuned and we'll see you in a few minutes for that.